What's going on, everyone? Just testing this out here. I think it's working. Hopefully it's working. But trying to go live here and on YouTube at the same time. So this is my site NowMentor. I think it should be working. I'm gonna take a look here at my YouTube page. See if it's actually working for both. Just hang with me for a minute here. Came up. Yes, it's here on YouTube. So you can watch me on YouTube, and obviously I'm on my site too at the same time, NowMentor. And I'm trying to see here if it's working. If I go back here, let's see here. I don't really know how to use this site that well. So I'm live on here. So I should be simulcasting from here, Omelet, and NowMentor, and YouTube at the same time. And I have this. So I think it's working on all those. Still trying to figure it out. Hey, yeah, it is going. I don't know if anybody's on here on YouTube. Just trying to get things going here. A little bit of setup issues. Seems like it works pretty well though. Got my whole setup going here. Joining me on this, what day is it? Monday? March 16th. Feel free to watch me on my site NowMentor. Because here I'll see if there's any comments coming through. Just like that. Don't want to cut myself off the screen too bad. Oh my gosh. It's pretty funny. I think the delay is very minimal, if anything. I'm still here, I'm still live. Let me send a link to my actual NowMentor. This is my site, NowMentor, the website that I've created, which I am the founder of. So I'm going to send a link here to the live session so you can catch me directly, because I'm on a few different places. I don't know how this is going to show up on here. I'll be cut off bad. Yeah. Yeah, it needs to be like this almost. I don't really have the means to make my tripod much higher. Guess I could just hold it like this. For Forgive me if this is too annoying. It's kind of shaking around a little bit. Still getting things set up here. If you have your questions, drop them in the chat here. Put this on NowMentor Facebook, so you all can see it there later as the replay. Thanks for joining me on this fine Monday morning. Glad that you're all still alive with the coronavirus stuff going on. So, it's always a blessing. We're all still here. Of course, if you have any questions, I'm always here. And my name is Brandon. I am the founder of NowMentor. NowMentor is a site that most people haven't heard of. It's pretty new here. And just trying to talk about stuff and spread some awareness of who we are and what I wanted to do with this site. So of course is to have people gather together somewhere. We need social spaces where we can talk about positive things. The world's a pretty crazy place right now, and I know the coronavirus, people are freaking out. So you definitely don't want that to be going on. And as far as I know, I don't have any messages coming in here. Not even sure how I'm supposed to check. Forgive me, I've only streamed on here one time before. Just looking through some of the stuff on this Omelet app. Yeah, I don't know. Still nothing, I don't think. Which is great, because it doesn't... we're recording, so that's no big deal. Nothing, not at all a problem. Feel free to hop in here and ask me your questions. Yeah, I think I could probably do better if I made this taller. I mean, it works fine for YouTube, I guess. Maybe it would be better if yeah, because I have this on YouTube and Omelet Arcade, and I have it on NowMentor, my site. So it's a lot of stuff going on. And of course it cuts off my head on NowMentor if the video's too low. It's okay though, we'll get it figured out. So that's okay. It's just the way that the video is formatted if you go to NowMentor.com. Which I could send the link to YouTube for anyone interested in coming over. You can ask me your questions on pretty much anywhere. Wherever you want to do that. I wonder if I could put it up on my monitor almost. Like up here. It doesn't fall off. Oh man. little tripod thing has like feet that you can bend on it. That's not too bad, huh? It's one of those like flexible tripods. So I'm just here. And it actually works. Well, for now. No questions coming through. Just hanging out here. Actually, I was gonna put the link onto YouTube here. You guys can come over and ask me any questions that you have. A little bit about me. I'm Brandon. My name is Brandon. It's so nice that you could join me. I created NowMentor, and it seems like the time is coming together when people are going to need a site like this with the coronavirus. It's sort of crazy, like what's going on right now. I think that there's a real big need for these kinds of sites to exist. Positive social spaces. And I did just pop the link into YouTube. If you have any questions on there, on YouTube or anywhere, just let me know. And we'll get that sorted out. So yeah, with the coronavirus stuff, that's all anyone's talking about these days. And it's you could say it's scary, but I don't think we really have reason to fear. At least me. I don't believe that. Like, okay, if you don't have some kind of faith, then it's a serious issue. But if you have faith, it's okay because I don't think that I'm in control anyways. And so that frees me from not having to take care of this myself, I guess. So I made this site NowMentor, and this is what I'm streaming on. So I'm on NowMentor, and I'm on Omelet, which is like twitch.tv for streaming video games, but they also have options to stream online. So I'm streaming the live session from NowMentor in different places. Anyway, I see sort of a need to fill, and that is for conferences and seminars and other business opportunities and spaces that people can meet on. A lot of people have like a consulting job, or they're someone that does live seminar speaking engagements. And so because of the coronavirus, they have nowhere that they can meet because people aren't allowed to gather. It was over 250, but now it's groups over 50 people are not allowed to gather. So I think what better way for this site to grow than to have those kinds of speaking things, whatever it is, marketing, if you're an inspirational speaker, a life coach, or you have a business and you want to get people to see your business, there's a real need for spaces that people can actually come on and meet together. You have some options, but as we become more and more, I guess, locked down, if that happens, we're quarantined, we're going to need sites that can host public events. Whether that's a church service, or that's a conference, or that's news-based material, it doesn't really matter. There's so many different opportunities out there. And, like, this just needs to exist right now. I'm obviously streaming from my my office, but that gives people access to seeing me. And if you're somebody that has a business or a coaching company that you're working for, or you're the guy that created it or the woman that created it, you can send me an email, send me a message. They're all linked on the NowMentor.com website. We have social media links for all different platforms: Facebook, Twitter. Obviously, this is on YouTube and LinkedIn, whatever. It's all there. So I came on last time. I think it was like maybe a week back, just like giving a brief about who I am, what the site is, and what my original vision is. But now, as things are progressing and developing, I think that it really could turn into like an online seminar website or an online live coaching site where people can have like a virtual conference. Those spaces aren't happening in person where you'd have like a convention and people would pay a ticket price to go watch somebody. But that can happen online, and certainly that would keep the economy going in some ways, because there's people that do that for their livelihood. I certainly wouldn't want anybody to not be able to do that because you can't gather anymore. So if you can't gather and you're a speaker, you're a pastor, a speaker, a life coach, even like a fitness person, you need other options. And there's other options. I guess there's other social media outlets, but just picture if suddenly the whole world goes online, we're going to need to have a lot more spaces available to host that much traffic. You have different servers, and the server, of course, is what holds the material. And it's like the same thing as the bank. The bank has your money, but if everybody goes at the same time, they can't keep up. So that's sort of what I'm getting at with this idea here. You just need other options. Sure, there's YouTube, and that's good, but we're going to want other potential options. And really, that's capitalism at its finest. You have options, you choose the best option, and I'm a small startup, so I'll be flexible to what people actually need. These bigger companies, they have their own things going on, and they can do things the way they want, really. So that's a danger. But I'm flexible in that regard. And of course, if you're just coming on here, hi again. I'm Brandon. Startup company, NowMentor. That's the site that I founded. We've been around for like a year, but things are always changing. We're always updating. We're always improving things. And so really it's an exciting time to come on board. I'm always trying to find new mentors. If you're a positive and encouraging person, we want you on here. Even really anything. If you talk about nutrition, if you talk about news, just come on here and be someone that's encouraging. We need to band together in this time on an online social space, a social platform that's not all about fear and the hysteria of the coronavirus. Sure, we want to be prepared and we want to be wise about it, but also it's not helpful to be just ruled by fear. I don't think that people are really living that way, and that's not good because it should be the way that people are. So that's a short version of why I think this site can mobilize now. Before, it was sort of the same thing. I created the site for social media to be a replacement for these negative messages on social media. But it's really the same thing. Social media is fear fear tactics, and that's what gets people to watch videos and to buy into certain content. But we don't need that, and that's not going to be helpful as the world keeps going. And I think I'm someone that's somewhat well informed, but I need other mentors. We need people that can take the time and host online talks about things to be encouraging, and just how are we supposed to respond to the coronavirus? What are we going to do to move forward? Because it's definitely foreseeable that the world will lock down and we will be in quarantine, and this could be an online space might be the only way that people are allowed and able to connect with each other. That's terrifying, but it's also good that we have an option to do this. Information spreads faster this way. I don't have any bias as far as I'm not being paid like a certain news company to have a stance for a specific opinion. I'm free to say whatever I want. This is my site, and let's grow this. You guys let me know what needs to happen, and I'm here. And this is the time to get this thing going. We need mentors. We need encouragement. Let's figure out how to keep the world running with the coronavirus. That's like all the news is talking about, coronavirus. But what options are we giving ourselves? If your job shuts down, you're not going to be able to make any money. So it's going to really turn to online forums. NowMentor, that's a site I created. And at the time, it wasn't so urgent, but it's becoming more and more clear that this is a serious issue. People aren't going to be able to work from home forever. Maybe the job won't even exist anymore. This sort of going to go to like, what do you have to do with the free enterprise to make things happen? And people need encouragement right now. I can't do this by myself. I'm just one person, and whatever I can do to help, I'll do it. But it's not going to be enough that I'm just here by myself. I need other people, other mentors, and as the world changes, which it is changing and it will continue to change with this coronavirus stuff going on, we need a site that can keep people calm and band together. It's not enough to just have everybody not be able to go to work and stay home and watch content that's controlled by the government. I don't think that that's the best option. The government has a stance. They want to protect their assets, and they're not telling us the truth. We need more sites like this that have live streaming options where people can share their mind and actually tell what's going on. I don't think the news sources are that reliable. There's things out there and they don't want us to know the truth. We need people to be mentors to share the truth. And this site's not censored. I'm just saying my thoughts. And if you have questions or comments or feedback, let me know. We do the best we can. This site's a startup. It's only been around for about a year. And like, what better time than now to have a site like this? People are just completely blindsided by fear and misinformation. There's not enough right information out there, and the sources are obviously censoring things because they don't want you to know how bad it is or how bad it could be. Obviously, we have a big reliance on things from China. China is our supply chain. We get things from China. And you don't know how bad it could get if we get that supply chain just cuts off. There's no way for us to get those things like toilet paper and just of course maybe even a week ago I was laughing at people that were buying toilet paper, but it's so real now. If there's nowhere to get that toilet paper because there's the supply chain doesn't exist anymore. China shuts down. We have trucking and other freight companies and airfare that bring things from China to us. And that's not going to happen if we sever our connection with them and our agreements with them. So, really the answer, how do we move forward? And if I haven't said it recently, my name's Brandon. My site is NowMentor. It's a site that I created for people to spread positive messages. It's becoming more and more clear now that this kind of site is going to be foundational as the nation moves forward, to have like a way that people can connect this way and not being ruled by fear. But I think we can do it if we work together and just be honest with each other. Things here in the United States are okay right now. It's looking like it might get bad. You just never know what's going to happen. But I don't think that's a reason for us to panic. We have online resources, but like I keep saying, I don't think those resources that we have are trustworthy a lot of times. If you look at the political system, there's not that much congruency between the president and the streams of communication from him to different news outlets. And obviously China has covered up many things about the virus because they don't want us to know how bad it is or how bad it could be. So it's kind of a situation that requires a different tactic. We've been doing things this way and look what's happening. It's only gotten worse. It gets twice as bad really every week. It's worse than the week before. So whatever's happening, in my opinion, it's as simple as people just aren't sharing information with each other. If you're hiding something and people don't know about it, that's valuable information that people need to move forward. China doesn't want people to know how bad some things are because there's a trade agreement with China, and that business hinges on our cooperation with China. So they're incentivized to be secretive about many things being the number of infected cases. And even before that, if you go back further, China, they only said what they had to say to appease people in America. I think they knew how bad it was. They knew how bad it was before they said anything. And then we sort of forced their hand. They had to say something because otherwise it would have gotten worse. So pretty much what I'm trying to say is they only said what they had to say and nothing more. And really where that leaves us now is they probably know a lot more than they're saying, but they're not volunteering that information because they don't want us to know that the world could pretty much blow up. And like, this is just hearsay, but I feel like the world could be put on pause. Like, the conflict in the Middle East, is that as important as people not having food or dying? This could be a time where we even do band together as a world, putting aside things, wars and religious feuds that we've had for thousands of years. It's not as important as being able to have clean water and being able to get food. Those things are so much more important than I don't know, having oil for your car, fuel, and those other huge. They seem like secondary to other things, such as your own personal well-being. If there's fear and danger of you dying just from starvation, it almost feels like to me that the other issues aren't as important. That might just be me speaking from both sides of my mouth, but it would make sense to me that people would come together, and from every tribe and from every nation and every language, it doesn't really matter where you're from. We need to help each other. And we need a site such as my site, NowMentor, which I am the creator and founder of. I don't code it myself. I have a developer that works for me. He's overseas and he's been keeping things running smoothly, and we're still working on major updates that we're hoping will be ready to go here to be deployed in the next week or so as we mobilize this site towards these other issues of things that are going on in this world, of which there are many problems at the moment, things to be concerned about, not to be fearful of necessarily, because fear doesn't fix anything. Not to say that fear's not natural, and it's not wrong to be fearful, but if fear is just taking over you, that's a problem. Fear shouldn't come to the point where it's all that you think about. It's all that consumes you. That's not healthy, certainly by any means. And I think really what it is about control. People want to feel control over the situation. And fear is disguised in that way, because it seems like if you're fearful, well, then you know that I have something that's mine, and that's fear. But that's the end of the answer, because fear just stops there. How does it solve anything? Well, it doesn't solve anything. It makes people do, quite honestly, really stupid things to try to protect their assets. And what would be a better response is working together. Logically, if you work together, like, wouldn't that make more sense? Well, yeah, it would make more sense to work together, but fear is the opposite of that. It's negating that logic and common sense that working together would be a helpful thing to do. Fearful people do things to protect what's theirs, and when you're in a more positive and stable mindset, you do things that are on the outside not gonna just mess somebody else up. So all that's to say that fear is a liar. Fear doesn't make things better. It's gonna make things worse. If you just look at the things that have happened in the last couple weeks, it's pretty obvious that fear is going to ruin the nation. Let's say that you're someone that goes out and buys 3 or 4 cases of toilet paper, not assuming that it's not 20 cases. And it's going to really be sooner or later here that they're going to have, in my opinion, a quota, or they're going to start rationing how many things that you can buy. You can't just be going in there to Costco or the store and buying, 10 cases of toilet paper. There's not enough production for everyone to do that. And it's hurting other people that need toilet paper. You can't use all that yourself before somebody else that maybe runs out would. They need that. And so what's going to happen if there's none left? Bad things. This whole thing's crazy. Like I said, probably the 5th time now, we don't have sites like this that can just share the truth. We need unbiased information. It's not censored. Now more than ever, the government needs to not have their hand in something. The free enterprise this website, this company, this startup, NowMentor, it's not censored. This is just real talk, real information. We need mentors on here, people that are an expert in some discipline, or just anybody. It doesn't matter if you're an expert or not. We need people that can come on and share the truth with each other. So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on right now. It's a pretty crazy time. It's a pretty crazy time, indeed. Man, yeah, there's just so much stuff. We don't know what's gonna happen. Obviously, I don't know what's gonna happen either. So that's an issue. Um, we only know so much. And just really, it's just about getting news. Where do we get this news from? How do we get the news? How does the news that we get be reliable? And I don't think it is most of the time. It's not reliable news, or else it wouldn't be an issue. That people are just telling us what we want to hear. And I guess as I wrap up here, man, it's so crazy. How do we even move forward as a nation? This is like a serious issue where we don't have places to go to hear that information that's not made up or just what they think we want to hear. We need to work together, band together, not be selfish by any means, whatever that looks like. And it looks like not being selfish is working together. And we can work together by sharing with each other. Because if you don't share, people are going to start dying if you're not giving them food because you buy it all for yourself. It's really quite an issue. It's a serious issue. People, man. Instead, just don't want us to get to the point of just gossip almost, but this is a problem. I think I've made that pretty clear now as I've been almost on a rant here that this can't go on like this. We can't just keep doing what we're doing because it doesn't take a smart person to figure out that it's not working. And might I remind you that schools have shut down, the government's pretty much crumbled. Whatever job that you have now, you might not have it in a month from now. If everything closes down, that's going to just put a big wrench into the whole economy of everything. Assuming that China doesn't even matter, which they do for, we'll say generously, 50% of all of our trade. I'm sure it's much higher than that. So you have that. But if everything shuts down, that's an issue. And I don't know, I don't have the answers, but what are we going to do? I don't know the best way to respond to this, and that's the same response that the government has, is they have really no idea what to do. But what they are doing and what they have done has been nothing but failures. As you can see, this issue has gotten nothing but worse. Let's see how long it's been. 2 months? Probably a little bit longer than 2 months, but hey, let's say 2 months this has been an issue. And man, has it moved fast. It's just gotten worse, progressively worse, and very quickly too. So I don't know what else to say about it. There's something that needs to be done, and that something is positive communities that share information with each other in a way that's truthful and not censored. And I don't have any incentive to make up information because it's just me, and we need people that just care about sharing that information. And as you get more and more stuck at home, quarantining, we're going to need to have more content produced. Wholesome content from people that are experts in their field, that know what they're talking about, and can come together and encourage us in this horrible, hysterical, fearful time. It's going to take a lot more than just watching the news. They just say what they want us to hear. And I feel like I'm becoming the news right now because I've said that so many times already in this last 45 minutes. It's not enough to just watch the news or just rely on what the world tells us. We need people that can be critical thinkers, and have independent thoughts, and just, I don't have any stance. Ask me any questions, I'll tell you like it is. I'm not hiding anything. No one's paying me to try to reassure you that everything's just fine. It's not like that. That's the scary side of the story, but I guess the more positive side is my site, NowMentor, which I am the founder of, and my name again is Brandon. So this is a site that I created wanting people to share their ideas, to be encouraging. You don't have to have a license. You don't have to have a degree. You just have to be somebody that's willing to come on here and share your ideas. We don't have to agree with you, but it's open feedback. Whatever you say can be checked, can be fact-checked. And let this not become slanderous and full of gossip and hatred. But I don't know any other site that's like this, that has news and it's not paid by somebody to keep quiet, and that they have this immense pressure they're facing from other world agencies to appease people. It's, I could say revolutionary, this kind of an idea. In a way it's been done before, but in a way it hasn't been done before. There's live streaming sites out there, but none of them are aligned in this way where they're starting out and we can really be fluid and flexible to do what has to be done. We have a small team working with us, and so because of that, we're very open to feedback and suggestions. I have nothing to hide from anybody, and just being as transparent as I can. Yeah, it's obviously there's an issue. Coronavirus, China, the government, the president. I don't know. You only know what he's keeping from you. Maybe it's 10 times worse than we even know, and we only hear information as it comes out in waves. So like a wave, that information gets to us well after the fact. Things that you're hearing about, maybe that happened a couple weeks ago. And so as soon as you hear about the next information, that's already happened a while ago, and there's a delay. And there's just not enough people saying things as they happen because they don't know. And there's this whole just shroud of secrecy around the whole issue. And that can't go on anymore. If it goes on much longer, we're not going to be a nation that even exists. People are going to starve. It's not even about the virus. It's about the secondary repercussions that come along with a virus like this. The supply trade, that chain is going to be severed. And that's a more pressing and imminent concern, aside from just there's a coronavirus, which is a horrible thing. I'm not discrediting that in any way. But there's these other problems. The economy. Your job. If it shuts down, how are you going to pay for food, if you can even find food to buy in the first place? this is just like something that's poked at the nation, and we were on this unstable foundation. And I was just reflecting on this actually today. It's so simple how the whole thing just comes toppling down like a house of cards. There's not enough to hold it all together. This whole thing it was like a pyramid, and we thought even a couple months ago that we were pretty much set. The nation was on the uptick. The economy was doing good. Heck, even my stocks were up. It's deception. It was not stable. If something can come down so easily, then correct me if I'm wrong, but obviously it was unstable. If it takes nothing more than one virus, which, yes, this is a huge thing going on, the virus, but everything's connected. It's a mesh connected together. The virus comes in and it pulls all of it apart because there's nothing for it to fall back on. And then that's why you have the ripples from the virus, the ripples on the economy and the supply chain. And what about schools shutting down? No schools, no learning. They're going to offer, hopefully, online learning. I saw this thing that Scholastic is going to offer online learning opportunities for people to engage in, students, but that's assuming that the parents are going to be all now homeschool teachers, because parents have to go to work, but if they even have a job to go to anymore. So it's almost like, what is learning? Why does it even matter that I go to a job if the world might be ending? Aren't there more pressing issues? There's got to be something that's more important than going to work. Or my child learning. Suddenly, if there's the threat of me not having clean water to drink, does it really matter that my child can attend online school if Scholastic offers that? That's like, to me, it just seems like a silly response. They were trying to help, and it could be helpful, but you're assuming that somehow the parents can stay home and help them, guide them through that process. Teachers are in full hysteria because, schools are breeding grounds for a virus to fester. So that's one issue. Obviously, the schools shut down, and that's their due diligence so that they can do what they can to prevent the spread of the virus as much as possible. Okay. And I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Well, it's really crazy. I'm just taking a breath here as I gather my thoughts again. Something that we could talk about for hours, conceivably. And not that I'm going to, because this could just go on forever. My hearsay. I'm not like someone that has news from the source, but I'm sure there's people out there. If you're a reporter, hey, there you go. If you're a reporter, you're a journalist, and you want the truth to be heard, but people aren't hearing it, post it on here. Let me know, send me a message, reach out to me. We'll get you signed up as a mentor. We need people that are journalists, that are on the front lines, that have first-hand knowledge, and I'm not going to snuff that knowledge out for fear of scaring the nation out of knowing what the actual truth is. We need to know what the truth is. It's just that simple. I guess also it's just that complicated because it's not one person to another. It's a whole layer of, bifurcated, trickle down, messy, tangled web of the knowledge to the person that hears the knowledge, to them speaking it, and then being censored by somebody else, and man, it's just crazy. So again, if you're a reporter, if you're a speaker, if you're someone that cares about the truth, come on here. I will not censor you. I I won't censor you. I'm not going to block your content like YouTube could do for fear of the truth. If you're a journalist, you're a writer, a critical thinker, an encouraging person, somebody that cares, somebody that wants to help. We just need people with the voice of truth. Come on, NowMentor. NowMentor is not going to shut you down. I'm not fearful of the government, and they can do what they want, but this is my project, and I hold the keys to all of it. So, for the time being, we're good. We're good. Man. So if you're a journalist, you're a writer, you're a reporter, you're a businessman, a speaker, a coach, a life coach, a therapist, a doctor even. We have huge need for all professions, all sorts of professional trades, and even not. It doesn't matter if you're a mechanic. Not that that's a bad occupation. Mechanics are needed. If you have a tool or a skill or anything that you can offer, come on here. This is wartime for America. We're coming together as even like if the ration hammer does fall down on us. We need people to share their ideas. How do I fix my car? You have something. As we run out of resources, if that happens, hoping it doesn't, but it might happen where we need people that can help each other. And what better than an online space? NowMentor. 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 An online space. People can help each other. You're a plumber. How do I fix my sink? You're a mechanic. My car's broken down. But there's no mechanics at work right now because they shut down. How is the world going to keep turning without people offering their skills and suggestions and resources and helpful tidbits to each other? This is the time, people. The time is now not to be selfish. The time is now to band together. The time is now to have a website with information. It's not censored. It comes out in real time. And you ask your questions. And you make your feedback. And we'll grow together. Because we care about each other. And we don't want the whole thing to come crashing down more than it already is. So as I end, send me a message on YouTube. Send me a message on NowMentor. NowMentor@gmail.com. My name's Brandon. NowMentor. We have Instagram. We have Facebook. Obviously, I'm on YouTube. I'm multicasting, multi-streaming, whatever you call it, right now on this app Omelet, which is for video games, but there's a community of people on there that can see this. And you can see actually at the top of the screen up here, that, excuse me, this is Omelet, where I'm streaming from. I want this to get out to as many people as we can to see this, so we can actually work together and get things done without buying into the fear, without just whatever. Take a breath. Calm down. Relax. Know that we can do it. God is good. God is in control. We can find peace in the midst of this crazy world. If this is the end, if this is not the end, it doesn't matter. You do your part, and I'm doing my part. My part is to do what I have to do. And I'm also a student, but that's neither here nor there because it doesn't really matter. I think what really matters is this more pressing issue that the whole world might be imploding. Be that as it may, that's okay. Take a breath. It's okay. battery may run out soon, so I need to wrap up. I'll be on here, hopefully as often as possible, to share my thoughts about the website, to share my ideas. As someone who thinks differently, I challenge the way things are set up. Structures are not impenetrable. As you can clearly see, the government can't handle the issue. There is real dire stuff happening, and we can't trust the government to take care of us. I just think it's as simple as they can't do it. The government can't provide for you. We need to work with what we have. You have your resources, you have your automobile, you have your house, you have your skills. Come and teach me. Teach me how to grow this site. Teach me how to be more positive, how to have ideas for world change. Help me think better. Help me to ask better questions. I need the help. I admit that humbly with humility. I don't have all the answers. I can't do it myself, and you can't do it yourself. And if you disagree with that, I disagree with that disagreement, because I don't think that people have the skills to do it all themselves. We can't rely on what's already established. It's not working. The system is not capable of solving this. The secrecy, the cover, the horrible cover-up, it's never ending. Things just keep going on the way they're going. It's going to be a matter of time until the whole world just folds in on itself. It can't keep going that way for much longer. So now I'm feeling like I'm kind of getting a little bit riled up here. It's getting a little bit heated. Even though I'm just talking to myself, these are real issues. These are real problems. And you better do what you have to do to help me. I'll do what I have to do to help you. And we're not going to be censored. We're going to have this site. It's going to keep going unless who knows what happens. God only knows what the future holds for us and what may happen, what may transpire in the coming weeks and months, coming days even, the coming hours. This is the final hour. It seems to me like massive things are happening. Even if you don't believe that God is in control, this is going to be a serious shock and a serious change to the way the world operates. So let's do what we can to help each other out, to work together, and finally, just support me. I'll support you. We're all in this together. All we have is each other. All we have is each other. Love you guys. I'll be back on here as soon as possible as I wrap up some stuff that has to get done for my other projects. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be around. We're going to make it through this, and it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And we can make it through this. We can do it. God is good. If you don't know God, this is the time. Jesus, I need you. I don't know what's going on right now. This is crazy. God, I trust in you. God, I believe in you. God, I can't control this myself. All right, guys. Stay well. Stay peaceful. We'll talk soon.